All right, I'm looking at the Fibble. This is the game that's just like Wordle, but on every row, one of the clues is a lie. They're starting us with probe. I want to assume the R is true. So let's do something with an ER maybe. That could be good. Then we need new letters otherwise. How about savor? Okay. Well, it's not ER. The V is interesting because there's a good chance the V is a lie. Just because there's more words without V's than with V's. My phone is buzzing at me again. It's doing that a lot today. Anyways, so I'm thinking I'm thinking the V is probably the lie, and there is an R. I mean, if we do RO, then we could just have new letters without a V. If we did the V, then we could actually do an. Oh, we can't do an E. Well, what if we did R and V and E? And then let's do review. That's actually really good. The double E gives us a chance for some good contradictions. Okay. Well, one of the V's is a lie, so there's definitely no E's and there's definitely an R. Okay, which is what I was kind of thinking, but it's good to confirm. Okay, so if there is not a V, we could start with R and have the U be the lie because it's true or because there's no U. But if there's no V, then there's no A, and there's no E. We could do O or I, though. We could do... is there something like... Oh, we can't do the U's there, though. If we're doing the R, the U could be the lie because it's... Oh, the R is the lie. The R is the lie. We have to have a U. Sorry. So something like ruins, but we can't do the S. But we also need to have a P, O, or B is the problem. Route, but we can't do that. Rough would work. Okay, so one of the U's is a lie, so the yellow R there is definitely true. So there is an R. Man, if there is a U, then it's the lie. The H should be true. The R, it's probably not RH. It's probably this then. But then, what are you going to do with the U? It's not going to work at the beginning. It's not going to work there. I don't think... URH doesn't really work. I don't think there's going to be a U. That's what I'm thinking. I think there's no U. So that's going to be the lie, which means there's no V. So that's the lie. These are all true. So we could still have the H, though. But... Oh, and the O is the lie from probe, then, if we have the O be green. Okay, so... Then we can do torch. Oh, no, because the G. Okay. If we do this, then the G has to be the lie. So it has to be a G. So I don't think it's going to work to put the G there. And GOR something H, I don't think is going to work. So actually, I don't think the G can be the lie, which means the O or the H is the lie. So we can still do OR, but probably no H then. So just new letters in addition to the OR, I suppose? Yeah, that's what we're going to do. So how about torrid? That's not... Oh, that's a double R, isn't it? Okay. So, I mean, it doesn't have to be OR. We could do the R, at the end or something, but... I don't know. I'm having a hard time coming up with anything. Well, one thing we could do is an RRY, potentially, or just R something Y. Y at the end would be interesting. So, what about wormy? Wormy would work, or we could do worry, too. The double R might be good. Let's go with the double R. Ooh, okay, so one of these O's is a lie. But all that does is confirm that there is an R, which we already kind of knew. Interestingly, we now know that there's no R at the beginning, no R at the end, but there is an R. If you put an R fourth, this would be the lie, which would make that one true. You'd have to have two R's. You would also have to have an O, not second, which makes this the lie, which means you have an H at the end, which, I mean, it would work if you had mer, but that doesn't work because of the Y. And you'd need to have an O then, so that doesn't work. So I don't think we can actually have an R fourth. I think that's true. So the R is second or third at this point. So, I mean, OR is still pretty good. No H makes that the lie. No U makes that the lie. But I was having a hard time thinking of anything like this. I don't know. Well, we could do another O. Well, moron works. Let's see, am I a moron for not thinking that earlier? Okay. Well, one of these O's is a lie, so the green R is definitely true. I think that's true, but I'm gonna uncheck that because I'm less confident there. Well, okay, let's look at rough and moron, right? One of the O's is a lie, and obviously the H and the N can't both be true, so one of those is a lie, so everything else on those is true. So these are all, no, those are true. So there's no second O at least. But we still don't know. If there's an O second, then the H is the lie. The R and the N are true, but then what could come between the R and the N? It can't be another O. It would have to be an I think. And I don't know that there's anything that works like that. So I don't think the O can be second. I think this is a lie, which makes the H true, which makes the N the lie, which means there's no O. Okay, so we've got R and H. R, CH maybe? Which, then I'm thinking, it's gotta be IRCH, right? But then I'm thinking birch. Oh, but we could have a, yes, we can do the B because the B was the lie because we were doing an O. Birch. Birch is gonna be the answer. Oh, I even thought, you know, I was kind of thinking through some RCH things when I was doing orch, and I thought of, well, you could do, you know, something like birch or whatever, but there's no B, but that's because I was thinking O before, which would eliminate the B as an option. Wow, it's interesting that we had probe. The B was gray, and that was the lie, because there was a B in the word. Usually if B is gray, you assume it's probably true, but... All right, well, getting the O twice in a row there convinced me there was an O and got me looking down the wrong path. But we got there in the end, so don't worry if your solve is rough. That happens sometimes. It doesn't mean you're a moron. So let me know how your solve went today. And of course, be sure to subscribe for more.